All right, so we're going to do The Rise of Bangtan Chapter 2. Last week we did Chapter 1. Pretty cool little episode, right?
Yeah, I thought so. It was cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I've been following this series up until now. I mean, there's 2 new ones that are still out, or that are in the works right now that are being kind of put together. Last I left off, it was the very first episode. So I guess if I remember correctly, like the guys just seemed a little nervous. They seemed kind of tired, and they were about to do their grand debut, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Oh, is there going to be 3 new ones? I thought there was only going to be 2 new ones in addition to what's out there right now. Unless Anissa's decided to do a 3rd one.
So there is 3?
Well, in total, there's like 20 odd. I think there's like 22 right now, but there's like a couple of them that are being put together. Oh. So there's quite a few of them. This just basically kind of starts at the beginning of their journey and just kind of talks about like what it took for them to get from point A to where they are right now. But yeah, these are fun. So let's jump into this. Make sure I got subtitles on. Beautiful.
I think she's stopping at 24, they said.
Oh, she's stopping at... Is that 100% for sure? We know she's stopping at 24? I was wondering with like the new Festa in if she's decided to like kind of throw in another episode or anything, but I don't want to spoil anything for you, so we won't talk about that anymore. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Close my eyes. For a long time, I've dreamed this dream. Life as a zoo in a jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, but that sounds like as a kid.
And get our weapons to rumble. And BTS, we're the kids who are too cool for school and too bad to be good. So I'm gonna fight against all the prejudice. Fight for my generation. Fight for my music.
Those little babies here, man. And they're so young.
Because this cold world has no more dream.
Oh, that's a great song. Maybe we'll check that out after.
Chapter 2.
안녕하세요. 일일 DJ를 맡은 방탄소년 네? 다시 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요. 일일 VJ를 맡은 방탄소년단의 맏형 진입니다. 지금부터 방탄소년단의 세계 매력에 빠져보도록 하시죠.
Making a debut after a long preparation, how can the singer and album make an appeal to the general public?
Korea has around 4,000 official labels / entertainment companies / businesses that make or produce albums.
K-pop is so competitive. You have hundreds of groups debut every year.
Wow.
And it's, maybe 1% is going to stay around for a few years.
Korea has a relatively small home market, so it has to think about developing a product that will appeal to overseas markets.
I really do not like or appreciate that they try to pigeonhole like K-pop and like the Korean music industry as like this super like factory corporate like machine. Because where the hell do you think we got that from?
Up until a certain point, I think we were very much influenced by the Western. I'm not saying that it's right or that it's wrong, but it's just what needed to be done in order to branch out.
I mean, that's been around for a very, very long time, and it happens everywhere else too. They only focus on like a few specific cases where that happens and then make it seem like every single part of this scene here is like that.
There are systematic, rotten problems in the idol trainee system. The way that it's become like a simplified, generalized narrative about the dark side of K-pop and how this bland, obvious statement seems to resonate in headlines shows that there's a problem in the way Western media perceive this new Asian culture.
There's a misconception that Korean industry is like somehow more corporate. And no, even if there are certain things that they have to do, like choreography and stuff like that, right? They still have enough room to, write songs and be creative.
Back in the day, heavy metals and the rock stars, you know what I mean? They're kind of like K-pop Now, you're gonna have some characters. They wear crazy makeup and all that hair. And so this is what's happening with K-pop. Rockstar is reborn, you know what I mean?
So what is it like living as a K-pop star?
I feel like it's a very real prejudice, like a lot of like, you know, Western people thoughts that like they think about K-pop as they think it's like a very commercial based thing. I know that I was guilty of that, and I thought that for a long time, and that's why I didn't really credit. Have you ever heard anything like that about K-pop being like maybe like this bubblegum plastic kind of like manufactured thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was under the assumption, yes.
And it's just kind of weird. I don't know where we got that idea, if it was from all those headlines and stuff that, you know, they were just outlying for us or for whatever reason. But I mean, there are some things in the K-pop culture that obviously that I don't agree with and that are kind of disturbing with some of the idol training systems. But it's just like any other production with music. Like there's just a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of hands in the pots. It's just they do it in a more systematic way sometimes, and not even every time. But that was kind of that was my basic understanding, and I feel like that's a lot of people who I talk to people about that are new to K-pop. When I mention it, I can kind of see in their face. They're like, "Oh, you mean that manufactured thing or that plastic thing?" And it's not always quite the case. It's mostly not the case, honestly. But this is kind of the part in when I was learning about this where I was like, oh, okay, well, what is all this? How is this all put together? What is all of this? You know, why is all this done? Is this kind of like Motown? Is that how it's done? You know, like Motown groups were like, you know, there were, you know, groups of musicians that were, you know, put together by a producer and they made a band out of them.
Right.
It's kind of the same idea, but it's just a little bit more intense with the training and the schooling and everything. But yeah, I thought it was kind of strange. And maybe it is. It's just from all those headlines we see all the time.
That's what we just assume.
That we're like, okay, well, hey, we've seen it all in the headlines. Like, that's just this manufactured thing. That's what it is. It's sad, but I mean, that's the truth. Maybe just through media.
If you turn on your TV any day of the week here in Seoul, you'll find a K-pop show to watch.
Oh, these shows are wild.
It's a weekly rapid-fire blast through the latest crop of K-pop acts. These artists are already signed to record labels, but it's a competitive show, a bit of a cross between Top of the Pops and X Factor. Winning can be a huge boost for any act.
Winners are selected through votes from the live audience as well as the viewers at home.
음악 방송을 통해서 이제 홍보도 할 수 있고 또 그리고 생방송으로 보통 진행이 되기 때문에 사실 굉장히 좋은 기회고 그런 홍보를 할 수 있는 그런 수단인 것 같습니다.
So it's like American Idol or something, but like
essentially.
전부 다.
비비는데 이런 거 영상에 찍으면 안 돼요. 형 카메라 앞에 있으면 되게 제가 쑥스러워요.
So how old do you say they are here, roughly?
They're a mixture. So JK is going to be the youngest guy. He's the one who we just heard on that, you know, Left and Right song. And I think he's like, what, 25 or something like that now? But this is in the very beginning. And I think that means he's going to be right around like 15 or 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're essentially, some of them are like still children. You know what I mean? But some of them are a little bit older. I believe Jin is the oldest. So he's probably like right around like 20. So it's just kind of every age group in between that demographic there. But essentially, they're still like in their early 20s and young teens. And like to me, I remember like when I was my early 20s or young teens or late teens or whatever, like, I don't know, I look back at it now and I'm like, oh man, I was still a kid. You know, I was still, you know, I didn't feel fully developed as like an adult yet.
No way.
So at this point, like they're getting ready to go on one of these shows. They're getting ready to go out there on like Korea's version of like American Idol. And like they said, there's like lots of these shows. Like they're very, very popular. And since there's so many labels and groups, over 4,000 music groups and stuff, these kind of groups are everywhere. They're all over the place. They're popping up left and right. Every day there's a brand new group like coming out and doing something crazy and new.
Very competitive then.
Very competitive. And they're with a company that doesn't have a whole lot of pull in the industry. They're very, very new. So the cards are stacked against them right now.
The rookie hip-hop group BTS are in the spotlight, and the members are waiting for their turn. Unlike other rookie stars, they greeted the camera in a relaxed way.
2013년 7월 10일 V의 첫 단독 모드 짝짝짝짝.
안녕하세요, V입니다. 나이는 19살이고요. 방탄에서 보컬을 맡고 있습니다.
사람들이 많이 놀랬던 것 같은데 6명 그룹일 줄 알았던 방탄이 7명이 그룹이
shows are daily,
7명이라서 오래전부터 멤버들이랑 같이 생활했다. 그리고 크리스마스 때도 같이 있었고 랩몬 형 졸업 때도 갔고 단체 로고 찍을 때 6명만 나왔을 뿐이지 사실 나도 있었다. 나는 카메라에만 안 나왔을 뿐이지 벽에 기대서 형들을 계속 지그시 바라보고 있었다. 앞으로 많은 것을 보여드리는 방탄소년단의 V가 되겠습니다.
Now, chat, I don't know if anybody recognized that group of the girls in the corner, but with the helmets, is that Crayon Pop? There's this hilarious group called Crayon Pop.
I like the
you
name.
later. Oh my God, Chris, it's the most hilarious thing ever. But the helmets and everything, I think that might have been Crayon Pop. If anybody knows, let me know.
Crayon Pop.
Crayon Pop. They've got like this. Oh my God, the music video is so good. I reacted to it over Christmas. It was Crayon Pop? Hell yeah.
셋, 둘, 하나. 네, 잠시만요.
I like that their names are on the shirts as I learned.
Oh yeah, that helps out.
100%. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
네.
가죽 진짜 너무 더워요. 바로야. 야, 그거 뭐야?
괜찮아. 네네네.
빨리 모여봐.
나한테 있어, 나한테.
So if things don't work out for them right here, it's pretty much the end of
6월
it.
둘째 주 M 카운트다운 스페셜 MC 이준 천둥입니다. 예, 지난주
잘해야 돼요. 기회는 단 한 번뿐이야.
One shot.
I feel like you might like some of these girl groups too.
지금 얼굴 풀로 잡고 있어요.
왔어요?
얼굴이
너무 가까이 잡지 마세요. 메이크업 중.
뭐라고 한마디만 더 해줘요.
사랑해요, 방탄.
안녕. 처음에는 쑥스러운 인사였지만 사실 지금도 쑥스러워요. 방탄소년단입니다. 방탄?
안녕하세요.
그 데뷔 전부터 있잖아요. 입소문이 아주 자자했던 방탄소년단이 오늘 M 카운트다운에서 데뷔 무대를 가져요. M 카운트다운 최초 공개 핫 데뷔 방탄소년단. 와 진짜 기대돼.
야만 내 꿈은 뭐래? 야만 내 꿈은 뭐래? 야만 내 꿈은 뭐래? 네 꿈은 안녕하세요 팬 여러분 둘셋 방탄 안녕하세요 방탄소년단입니다 방탄소년단입니다
We'll do our best, so please show your love.
알았어 엄마 지금 독서실 간다니까
막연히 꿈이 없는 상태로 10대를 보내다가 부모님이 뭐 공무원 좋잖아 공무원에 뭔가 10대들에게 이제 정말 네 꿈이 뭐냐 이걸 물어보고 싶었어요 정말.
구호에 맞춰서 응원도 해주시고 정말
감동받았습니다.
너무 감사했습니다.
Everyone. Our song Normal Dream was one of the top 3 most requested songs on the After School Club.
이 시대의 감성을 담는다는 거예요. 특히 젊은 사람들의 청년들이 지금 숨쉬기가 좀 벅차요. 뛰어면 안 되죠. 꿈 가지라는데 이거 꿈 고문이죠. 희망 고문이죠. 근데 그런 것들을 참 잘 담아요.
살아가는 법을 몰라 날아가는 법을 몰라 결정하는 법을 몰라 이제 꿈꾸는 법도 몰라
첫 무대를 봤는데 너무 멋있어가지고 감사합니다. 네, 너무 잘하는 거죠.
꿈을 대지 마 우물쭈물 대지 마
방탄이라는 게 이제 총알을 막아낸다는 의미잖아요. 총알처럼
막아내겠다.
쏟아지는 편견과 억압에서 이제 상당히 저희 세대의 생각과 가치를 지켜내겠다는 그런 심오한 뜻이 담겨 있습니다.
엄청난 포부를 저희가 또 갖고 있죠.
防弾少年団の活動を応援しています 12 youngsters without dreams
All right, so this is kind of like going to be like their after cam type thing. But I just wanted to kind of touch on what Sugar was saying about the lyrics here in this song, because it's actually kind of, it's something that's not super common with a group that's just about to kind of come out and showcase himself for the first time. And it's about following your dreams. It's about really kind of investing in yourself. Now, in Korea, the safe job there is a civil servant job, like a government job. Like that's what you kind of want to get. And that's what everybody's parents want you to have. They want you to have that safe government job. And that's what every kid is kind of striving for, and they're basically like working themselves to death. But we'll get into that later down the line about the just the work ethic that everybody has to go through. But I thought this was interesting how they kind of came out swinging with like more of like a social justice kind of cause, almost not even social justice, but kind of like hey, think about what you actually want to do. Who do you want to become? What are your dreams? And go for your dreams. Maybe just going for that cushy government job might not be the answer because maybe you won't be happy. And I think there's an entire generation of young people that were watching this that really had an effect on them because they probably saw their parents that may have had those government jobs. They saw how they came home from work and even though they had a roof over their head and food on the table, they probably saw their parents just not being happy. They didn't really follow their dreams. They did what they needed to do just to kind of keep the thing rolling and make sure that they had a roof over their head. So at this point in the culture, they're basically kind of putting that out there, which I thought was a really admirable thing right off the bat. This was kind of their first thing. And it seems like the audience was fairly susceptible to them and they seemed like they liked it pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the dancing was pretty cool on this one. My favorite part is like when they all like go down and he runs across the back.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's just pretty neat. They go down like dominoes. Later on, they start doing magic.
Oh, even better.
And then obviously like right now, like look how sweaty. This is RM. He's a leader. Oh my God. Just looking at this now, like after not seeing this for like a year, they look like little babies here. They're like,
I can only imagine, yeah.
They're like, well, wait till you see the more recent stuff with them. They look so different. But they look out of breath because they're also not really doing a whole lot of lip syncing. Like the first thing I thought too is like, oh, okay, they're dancing up there, but they must be lip syncing. And then I started paying attention to the audio cues and like the vocal, the clarity of the vocals. And I'm like, oh, it's a little shaky there from the mic. Oh, it's a little shaky there from like just being out of breath or whatever. So it's all done live. So it's like, imagine working out super hard, but at the same time, like
Singing, yeah.
and being on key and all that, which is just a different kind of talent in itself.
Right.
All right, let's, oh, geez, you slid out. I want to make sure we're still in frame here. We're still in frame? Yeah, we're still in frame. That's good. All right, let's go back and we're about halfway through.
우리랑 풀었어요.
대성공. 오예. 오예. 이거 많이
도전하겠습니다. 네, 잘할 자신 있어요.
자, 다 됐니?
하나, 둘, 셋. 자유포즈. 하나, 둘, 셋. 됐습니다.
멤버들 연습 기간이요 3년 정도라고 들었습니다. 데뷔 전에 블로그를 통해서 직접 만든 프리스타일 랩, 자작곡도 올리고 기존 곡 위에 랩을 얹어 새로운 편곡한 믹스테이프도 뭐 올리고 굉장히 이슈가 됐었습니다. 요거는 누가 많이 했었던 건가요?
이제 저와 이제 랩몬스터가 가장 많이 했는데요. 블로그를 통해서 자작곡도 많이 공개하고 또 저희들 로그라는 저희들 하루 일지 같은 영상을 찍어서 이제 매번 이 영상을 블로그를 통해서 올리고 하고 있었습니다.
아, 직접이요?
네. 편집은 안 하고요. 그냥 영상을 찍어서 바로 올렸어요.
아, 그냥 올렸어요?
네. 아니, 팬분들이 많이 좋아하시더라고요.
아, 그때부터 좀 팬이 있었군요. 그래서 연관 검색어에 데뷔 언제 해?
데뷔를 하고 이제 처음으로 학교를 간 적이 있었는데 되게 이제 기대를 하고 이제 데뷔를 했고 이제 친구들의 반응이 궁금해서 잔뜩 기대가 부풀어서 이제 내가 원하지 않는 그런 밋밋한 반응들, 평범한 반응들, 진짜 왔어? 이런 평범한 일상의 반응들 원하지 않았다. 정말로 씁쓸한 현실을 겪은 그런 날이 있었는데
저 당시에는 우리가 막 방송을 마음대로 못 깔 때예요. 방송을 막 사람 다 차있으면 우리 못 나가고 그럴 때도 있었어.
또 요즘은 진짜 많이 느끼는데 뭔가 말의 심각성, 말의 중요성에 대해서 많이 느낀다. 정말 얼마 안 되는 네임밸류지만 인신 공격도 많이 받았었고 뭐 일방적으로 정말 밑도 끝도 없이 까내리는 비난들 정말 앞으로 얼마나 많이 받을지 모르지만 얼마나 많이 받겠지만 너무 많이 받겠지만 괜찮다, 괜찮고 날 까고 수많은 찬사와 수많은 비난을 받겠지만 항상 당당하고 항상 나는 이런 사람이고 난 진짜 괜찮은 사람, 우리는 진짜 괜찮은 팀이라는 걸 꼭 강조시키고 싶다.
이제 와서 무슨 학생들의 반항 같은 이야기를 컨셉으로 들고 나오냐. 철진한 컨셉이다. 비판도 굉장히 많이 받았던 것 같습니다. 그렇지만 저는 그들이 자신의 이야기를 하는 것이 무엇보다 중요하다고 생각했습니다.
I think this whole lyric is actually a message to me in the past. When I was a middle school student, I studied really well, and I was a really smart and good student in the school. When I studied well and I got good score, and the adults and parents just praised me, and the adults told me that you will success. But I had no dream. I had no other dreams.
꿈을 꾸는 평범한 학생이었던 친구들이 아이돌로 데뷔를 하고 꿈과 다른 현실에 좌절도 하고 점점 스타가 되어가는 여러 과정을 거치면서 그들이 가졌던 진솔한 고민들이 음악에 담겨졌습니다. 이렇게 그들의 내면을 표현한 메시지가 같은 세대를 살아가고 있는 팬들의 마음에 닿았고
너무 바쁘고 힘들지만 내 꿈을 이뤄가고 있고 뭔가 이 시발점에서 첫걸음을 잘 내딛는 것 같아서 기분이 너무 좋다. 나는 그래서 현재를 좀 즐기면서 동시에 바쁘고 열심히 살려고 한다. 그렇게 살면 참 힘들겠지 몸이. 아무튼 그런 사람이 되고 싶고 곧 멋진 음악으로 또 팬분들, 대중분들 찾아뵙고 싶다. 앞으로도 열심히 살고 또 열심히 바쁘게 살 것이다. 올해는 정말 진짜로 너무너무 중요한 하루가 될 것 같아서 기분이 너무 좋다. 화이팅! 랩몬스터 화이팅! 김남중 화이팅! 방탄소년단 화이팅! 뜬금없다. 아무튼 이렇게 로그 끝.
안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다.
2013년 6월 28일 지내일지 저희가 드디어 첫 번째 팬사인회를 했습니다. 많은 분들이 와주셔서 편지도 주시고 하이파이브도 하고 정말 생각보다 너무 많은 분들이 와주셔서 너무 감사했다.
정말 팬분들이랑 1대1로 얘기하는 시간이 너무 좋았다. 많은 분들이 저희랑 얘기를 하는 걸 좋아하셔서 정말 기분이 좋았다.
우와.
안녕하세요.
저 한 번도 안 해봤어요.
한 번도 안
해봤어요. 나 안 해봤어.
never tried.
안녕하세요. 신기하네. 신기하네. 괜찮네 이거. 안녕하세요. 지민이에요.
안녕하세요.
덥습니다. 그래도 잘한 것 같아요. 굉장히 정말
It seems like no matter how well they do, they always want to do better, you know?
That's one thing you'll definitely notice, like as time goes on, like the work ethic thing. Like they kind of talk about it a little bit here, but you'll start to see like how much work goes into all of this. They'll explain it a lot better than I could, but yeah, the work ethic is like it's a real thing.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Even them at 15, 16 to 20 years old, it's crazy.
And keep in mind too, they've been training for years before this to even be able to get to this point.
Correct.
So like the sad part of all of this is they've actually been kind of robbed of their childhood. They've been robbed of their youth. I don't want to say robbed, but like they have not been able to experience things like normal people experience them. Even up until now, it's just been kind of nonstop with the things that get put out and everything. So it's really kind of a sad story in the beginning. At least I thought it was. I mean, eventually they do succeed, obviously. We know who they are, and obviously we know they're successful.
Correct.
But over this documentary and over this series, you're going to see exactly how much work goes into this and why it's just that intense.
좋고 내가 하고 싶고 내가 잘할 수 있고 내가 사람들한테 보여주고 싶은 거 삶을 살 수 있다는 게 정말 너무너무 축복받은 일인 것 같고 항상 감사하고 팬분들께 정말 기쁘게 해야 될 것 같다. 7월 24일 멤버스터의 로드 끝. 바이바이.
정말 눈팅하고 있는데요. 방탄 없으면 사는 게 재미가 없다. 전 여러분들이 없으면 사는 게 재미가 없어요.
하나, 둘, 셋. 방탄!
아니 몸 아프네. 무서워 죽겠네. 항상 지민이만 돈다고 생각하시죠? 저도 한번 들어보겠습니다. 네.
Sorry for the lag, guys. I'm trying to fix it.
들어왔습니다.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
오늘 아쉬운 소식 들었는데 막방이라고. 빌드힙업으로 이제 활동 마무리하면서 스스로들한테 점수를 준다면
50점 주겠습니다. 네, 앞으로 채워갈 50점입니다.
진짜. 힙합은 죽었습니다.
수고하셨습니다. 수고하셨습니다.
네, 그 전에 2013년 가장 핫한 신인 그룹 방탄소년단이 성공적인 데뷔를 마치고 오늘 굿바이 무대를 가진다고 합니다. 그럼 함께 불러볼까요? 굿바이 방탄소년단!
네, 좋습니다. 두번 넘고 빨리 가야죠.
네, 좋습니다. 좋습니다.
다들 기다리고 있을 텐데 빨리 돌아오셨으면 좋겠어요.
네. 열심히 해서 다음 앨범으로. 네.
2013년 7월 28일 제이홉의 로그로 이제 우리의 첫 앨범 Too Cool for School의 앨범 활동도 이제 끝마치게 됐는데 믿기지가 않는다. 지금 다음 앨범 준비에 곡 작업에 안무에 화보 촬영에 정말 요즘 몸이 한계인 게 굉장히 슬플 정도로 바쁘게 타이트한 스케줄을 소화하고 있는데 너무너무 즐겁고 행복합니다. 차에서도 가사 쓰고 하고 촬영 도중에도 가사 쓰고 이래도 정말 너무너무 즐겁고 행복합니다. 2013년 8월 7일 슈가이로
방탄소년단은 앨범 준비에 들어가면 연습이 곧 공식 스케줄이 됩니다. 연습에만 몰두할 수 있도록 다른 활동은 거의 정지하죠. 그렇다면 시간 단위로 경제적 가치를 창출하는 방탄소년단 입장에서 큰 손해가 아니냐고 생각하시는 분들이 계실지도 모르겠습니다. 처음 방탄소년단 멤버들과 만났을 때부터 지금까지 우리가 가장 중요하게 생각했던 게 스스로 부끄럽지 않을 수 있을 만큼의 완성도였고, 이것을 위해서는 어떤 손해도 감수할 수 있다는 마음가짐으로 준비에 임합니다. 결국 우리가 함께 해온 일들은 우리가 앞서 했던 것보다 조금 더 나은, 조금 더 완성도 높은 컨텐츠를 선보이기 위한 여정이었습니다.
You think just that from inside, mentally. But if you still feel your heart beating, what you waiting for?
2013년 8월 16일 정국의 로그. 업무 시간이 비로 늘어났다.
Are you ready? Let's go.
That was one of our dance videos. It's kind of a big part of what they do.
누구나 지금 감기에 걸려있다. 고통스럽다. 힘들다. 솔직히 힘이 많이 드는데 힘이 많이 들어서 안 되는 동작들이 조금 많다. 그걸 열심히 해서 동작을 바로 잡겠다. 기대도 좋다. 2013년 8월 16일 전국의 로그 끝.
자, 컷! 뭔가 이런 사태를 벌어줘야 될 거 아니야, 가운데.
약간 일단 청 테이프에 맞춘 거거든요. 아까는.
뭐가 문제요?
그러니까 청 테이프에 맞췄는데.
그게 지금 뭐 하는 거야 지금? 여정구, 네가 잘했는데 다른 사람이 다 틀렸다 생각하냐 지금 아직도? 너 왜 그래?
죄송합니다.
잘해. 잘하면 되지.
야, 종국아. 뭐 축하 안 해줘서 삐졌냐?
아닙니다.
리더라고 뭐 내가 뭐 너한테 뭘 한 적 있냐?
빨리 찍자. 제가 조금만 오른쪽으로 가면 되나요?
그래, 조금만 가면
생일 축하합니다. 생일 축하합니다. 사랑하는 정덕군 생일 축하합니다.
He was upset with himself because, like, he's like, no, we shouldn't be celebrating my birthday. He wants to put that work ethic ahead of time. He thought everybody didn't like care or whatever, so he's like,
And he was wrong.
And he was wrong. And it was one of those like moments where he was like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah.
야, 태어나줘서 고마워.
소감 한 말씀 해줘.
이런 거. 감독님도 낯선 거. 연기가 진짜인 줄 알았어요.
저 옷이 없는데.
감독님도 다 연기하신 거예요?
브이로그. 오늘은 뮤비를 찍었다. 세트장이 정말 마음에 들었다. 개인적으로 노멀 드림 때보다 더 때깔 있어 보인다. 가서 제일 좋았던 게 밥차는 정말 진짜 맛있었다. 배 그릇 먹고 체해갖고
Got indigestion.
하지만 빨리 우리가 뮤비를 찍고 어떤 모습으로 나오게 될지 궁금한 건 마찬가지인 것 같다. 다들 멤버들 전부 파이팅 넘치게 연습을 하고 있기 때문에 그걸 보고 있으면 되게 나도 파이팅! 이렇게 에너지가 팍팍팍 올라가서 더 열심히 할 수 있게 되는 것 같다. 지지 않겠어. 2013년 8월 23일 진해로그
끝.
저희 방탄 소년단이 데뷔한 지 100일이 된 날.
이번 앨범에서 정말 더 한번 빵 터뜨려서
약간은 그런 느끼기도 하는 것 같고
Definitely talented.
여자. 예전은 즐겁다고 생각한 적응단이 없었던 것 같아요.
Alright, the video's
보여줘. 코스프레이 아주 시원해.
Yeah, they're kind of sensitive about that.
어때? 앞으로 직접 해봐야.
음료수 교환권. 예!
아까
은근히 칼로리 소비가 된다고요?
Consume many calories. The diet is working.
이거는 팬 여러분들입니다. 아미 여러분 사랑해요.
Alright, that is episode number 2. Let me come down here and kill this over here. Beautiful. Let me do one of these. And yeah, so that is The Rise of Bangtan Chapter 2. Yeah, pretty good, right?
Yes, very hard workers.
Yeah, that's like the main thing I took away from it the first time too, just the work ethic and what goes into it, and it's pretty wild. And as this series continues, you're going to see a lot more of that work ethic and a lot more of what goes into all of this because it's pretty wild. Yeah, The Rise of Bangtan Chapter 2. We're going to continue doing this every week over on Twitch. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, check out the Twitch link. We're going to have that in the description box down below. Check it out. We also have our Discord link down there as well if you want to join the community and see what's coming up next besides, the Tuesdays with Crystal or the BTS Sundays. We also get live requests Wednesdays, and then I sometimes do album reactions on Fridays. So there's always
something going on.
Something happening, something going on. But I think that's going to do it for us today. But you enjoyed that one?
I did.
Oh, this is awesome, man. One of the worst parts about doing this, and I love doing this, I love entertaining people and experiencing things with people, but one of the worst parts about doing this is I don't get to spend enough time with you, and now I get to kind of combine you and what I do in one, so it's just, it's...
Win-win. Same.
It's win-win for both of us.
I enjoy it too.
Awesome. Give me a kiss. All right, we're going to see you guys in the next video.
Thanks
Bye,
for
everybody.
watching.